Hi, in this episode we're going to take a look at a game about going to the frozen South Pole, because obviously in glorious British sunshine it's time to review a game about going to the frozen South Pole. Anyway, in this episode we're going to have a look at, no, that's a cat. We're going to have a look at 1911 Amundsen versus Scott. In this game you get to play one of the two famous explorers who in 1911 went to get to the South Pole. Now, for at least one of them, we know that on the way back that didn't end too well. Anyway, so you get the choice of Roald Amundsen or Robert F. Scott, so that's British or Norwegian. And in the box is a deck of cards, and essentially this is a hand management and card playing type game. So there'll be a board here which you kind of slot together like so, and this makes a complete journey to the pole. So as you see here, we start off on the boats and there's coloured spaces, and what you'll do is, so to move to a red space you'd need to play a red card, to move to a yellow, a green, and if you wanted to move from this red to this yellow in the same turn, one red, two yellows. One red, two yellows, three greens in one turn would let you move that many spaces. And how you do that is, each turn there'll be a row of 3 cards in front of you, like so, and you can take one of these cards on the far right for 3 into your hand, or you can discard one and take the 2 furthest to the right. So you discard 1 and you can take the 2 furthest to the right, or you can discard 3 and take the whole 3 set of cards. Ones will then be those that are remaining, if any, will then shuffle along and you'll draw however many cards have been gone to replace the ones that are there. The cards come in different types. There's basic footprints, they're the ones that let you sort of move. There's crevasses here, so these are the ones, they've got a colour, so you can use them just as a colour, but if you're playing Scott you can play 2 of these and you can then knock the player off onto one of these loss tokens. So if your little man is on the loss token, like so, then he can be knocked back by playing another crevasse. It's blizzards for Amundsen. He plays blizzards against Scott and the same thing happens. Essentially, when you're lost you have to play a card that will take you to a colour, and it will take you to that colour backwards. You can never go directly or forwards, you must move back. So it's kind of a take that thing. And one of the things the cards does is it does kind of have a pictographic representation there, so they do help. As well as that, you have there's a blizzard card and so on, and there are horses for Scott and dogs for Amundsen. They're wild card at the bottom there. It'll say British and it's any colour, but you could also play it as a blue. And there's a few other sort of specials like good weather and that. And there's 2 different types of symbols as well. So when you're drawing a card, like I said earlier, you may discard. I'll just find one in the deck here. So here's one. Here's one of the symbols, and there's the other symbol. So in the turn, you have sort of 2 actions. Draw a card, and that includes discarding to draw 2 or 3, or play a card. And the player card symbol is this little hand here. So that's a blizzard, so I'd play that. If I played 2 of them, I'd knock Scott off, or if he was already lost, I'd knock him back one. And the other one is the little cross there. That means discard. So if I chuck this one card away to get 2 cards, it'd kill one of either Scott's horses or Amundsen's dogs. So that's what that'd do. And the first person, there's a compass in there, sorry, as well. I'm not going to root through it, but it's essentially if you're south of the 85th parallel, it moves you 1 backwards. If you're north of it, sorry, if you're south of it, it moves you 1 towards, no matter what the colour is. If you're north of the 85th parallel here, it takes you south. So you have to get rid of it. And when you're here, to get to the pole, you've got to play 1 of each colour. You can use wild cards out of the box. So yeah, so you need red, green, blue, yellow to get to the pole. First person there wins the game. There's a couple of expansions. There's personalities, and on the back of the board there is 1912 the way back. So there's some expandability in there. Anyway, that's a brief overview of the game. So let's see what I think. I like 1911, Amundsen versus Scott. I don't love it. It's 6.5 out of 10 for me, if I had to give it a rating now. I've not yet played the expansions or the 1912 variant. And the rulebook does come with quite a few variants and the expansions that are included. So I'll put that out there. It's got a lot in the box, especially when you manage to find it for £7 like I did. That's a bonus. But it feels a little bit long for what it is. You know, you want it over before, so it seems to move at a fairly slow pace, which I suppose going to the South Pole is it's quite slow. But I don't want my game, especially a sort of lightish to medium weight 2-player game like this, to be quite so long. Anyway, but it's enjoyable. So yeah, it's a 6.5 out of 10 for now. One problem, the rule book. It's a slog. I'm not sure if it's a translation or something, but it just feels to me difficult to read and comprehend. Read it a few times, played the games a few times, and no problems. I got it by then, that was fine. But initially, I read the rule book, played the game, and thought, I'm not sure. Are we doing this right? Are we doing that right? And the people I've played it with aren't experienced gamers, and they kind of struggled a bit. I had to go over the rules a few times with them. But aside from that, yep, solid game. Stay tuned for more reviews soon, and thanks for watching. Splodge, I'm going outside. I may be some time.